Hi, it's Jake with RawUtah.com. It's October, and it's starting to cool down a lot here in southern Utah. We're in Hurricane, Utah, and I'm just going to show you my street real quickly. Off in the distance, you can see we're just in Anytown, USA, but at the end of our street, you can see in the distance is Zion National Park. That's where we get our water from every week. Harvest about 50 gallons from a spring. Check, you can see in our other videos on YouTube of that harvesting process. Okay, so this is our front yard. I've never really shown this in our videos, but just wanted to show that this is the beginning stages of our permaculture project in the front yard. Nothing really going yet, but we've started our fruit trees. We've got a cherry tree, a bean, and then we've planted a couple more pine trees and some random Nanking cherry bushes, things like that. And then next coming spring, I'm going to swell the front yard according to where the you can see the drain pipes coming off the top of the roof there, the rain gutters. And then I'll put some swells on contour, and then we'll continue our planting. But at least we got some fruit trees in the beginning of the season here. So this is our street. This is our side yard. Now, I started a lot of work on this season, and at least got in the spine, which is the fruit trees. Got some random bushes here also, Nanking cherry bush towards the front. And I said in other videos the goal was to capture the southern horizon sun and by having taller trees towards the back, and then go taper down with these smaller fruit trees going towards the front. So I think we've got random cherry bush here, a cherry tree, and an apricot and an almond. But this is the beginning stages. And also got another rain gutter here, and the goal again is to probably when it warms up again in the spring, I'm going to swell this, may even do it here in the winter, and on contour by putting a little bit of a high berm on the side of the high side of the swale. And that way we can get that rainwater to go down into the yard and conserve water. Okay, so that was the front yard. See if I can get through this in the allotted time here on YouTube. So this is the gate line, and I know you've seen this in other videos, so this is really just an update. The raspberry bushes, some of them took really well and are taken off quickly. Others are acclimating a little more slowly. And this is the backyard. Shut this gate here. Okay, so we're just slowly adding to the yard. All of last month we spent a lot of time indoors. It was so hot, but it's really cooling down, and it's so nice to be outside all day long. So we're doing that now, and you can see this is the blackberry wall. And let's see if I can just kind of shoot around here. Things are slowly starting to come in. Got a couple little rose bushes here just because they smell so good. I've got our grapes in, and still acclimating. It's really fun to see how they slowly take and then eventually really just grab onto this soil. So this bed is our starter bed right now. I started a lot of plants indoors last season, and this season this is all kale along here, sprouting. And what I'm doing is it's working really well. You can see I can just grab a little start and pull it up. If I get deep enough, I'm holding this camera so it's a little tougher. But you can grab it, and then I can take this little sprout and put this anywhere in the garden that I want. So in beds that I'm getting going down lower in the garden on the square foot process, I can take this little baby now and stick it anywhere in my beds that I want it to grow. So this is just a way to get a lot of starts going quickly, and it's working really well. This right here is Freckles, lettuce. Let me see if I can get a little bit of the freckle on there so you can see her. Yeah, it's kind of blurry, but so the lettuces I just directly sowed, and we're going to get long rows of those going. It's just a leaf lettuce. And the kale I'm going to disperse throughout all the beds. Okay, so quickly moving on so I can get this all in there. Let me get to the other side here. these beds are coming along. Let's see. Planted these greens at the beginning of last spring, and they took the summer heat pretty well. Just took this shade cloth off. So they're coming, let's see, this is red chard. It's an heirloom chard. Some friends gifted us, and we just transplanted to the garden. It's doing really well. Got some random peppers like cayenne. I think I'll just grab this little guy for my elixirs later. You can see it's really red and ready to go. Really pretty stuff. So just kind of a mixed bed we're getting ready to transplant. I'm going to see if the kale will do well through the winter. You can see we've harvested just tons of leaves off these plants. And a few problems with cabbage worms through the summer. Had a fun time getting to know those guys. I didn't put floating row cover over these beds. So that was definitely a good example of how much the Agribon or floating row cover can save you from cabbage worms when you're growing these leafy greens. And this kind of stuff right here, floating row cover, Agribon, and you can just throw it over your garden beds like that, over your arched PVC, and it saves you all those hassles with those cabbage worms. But so it's just another brassica bed here, mixed chards and cabbages. These are the cabbages I harvested. I just lopped their heads off a few months ago, and they grew back. And so we just let them do that. You can see where the cabbage worms had a good time with them. I didn't cover this bed, even though I had the Agribon right here. I just decided to let the summer sun hit these beds, and had a few random problems with the cabbage worms, but surprisingly none with the chard. So for all you growers out there, chard seems to be one of the most amazing greens to grow year-round. We had it all through the summer and all through the winter, and it just loves to leaf out, perfect for your green smoothies, elixirs, and whatnot. So, see, these beds were our corn, our Blue Hopi corn, and I've just kind of let them stay where they're at for right now, and just lots of marigold and stuff like that. This was for the upright supports for the corn, and right now we're finishing our drip systems. I didn't get those in before the corn was planted, so right now we're just finishing off our drips. A little of a flow restrictor here, works really well to just kind of control the flow coming into specific beds. And we're doing it on a grid system, just with this 1/2 inch diameter tubing with the, you can see the simple grid I laid out there. So that's where we're at with those beds. You can see all the fruit trees. It's a perfect time of year to just continue building beds. It's so nice outside, so that's what we're doing. We concentrated on other areas of the garden for the summer, and so now I'm finishing off these beds here. Little more structural work and grading work to make sure that I'm not going to lose these beds. So that's what I'm concentrating on now. Figs, lots of figs. This fig tree bushed out real happily. Okay, see if I can just kind of walk around the dome here. See the dome? Okay, so our compost operation, this is all the recently harvested tomatoes from inside the dome, vines, melon vines, and squash vines. Lots of material. Another big tree here. You can see inside the dome, lots going on in there still. We'll go in there in a second. Looks like I'm going to have to do a second video here, so I'll just get it all in 2 videos, the dome tour and the continuation of the backyard garden tour. But so this method, in my opinion, works really well. I learned this from Elliot Coleman. Again, this is just straw bales. Got three compartments, 3 different states of decomposition. This is our, I just threw some scraps on here, but this is the pile that's most ready to go. So when I'm ready to add to my cayenne here, when I'm ready to add top coat, dress my beds, I can just come in here and grab this stuff. It's really good stuff. Got lots of earthworm activity in there. Okay, so I'll continue the rest of this tour on the next video, the next segment.